Someone who's seen these investigations unfold over the years from the federal levels, ABC News reporter Pierre Thomas, and Pierre's kind enough to join us right now. Pierre, we've been talking about two investigations that get underway, one at the site of the school, but also the second at the site of where the shooter resided and on their social media pages to try to figure out who this person was. And I know you've been talking to the FBI.
Well, we have been in contact with the FBI, and federal officials are assisting. The local police down there is the lead. But what typically will happen in this case, now that they have identified this woman as a 28-year-old woman, they will begin to vacuum clean her life. They will try to find out everything they can about her. Did she have a social media footprint? Where did she work if she had a job? Does she have any ties to that church and that school? Because one of the first things they want to figure out is, did she have any support? Did anyone know about what was going on here? It's extremely unusual to have a female involved in a mass shooting like this. Also, the fact that she was so heavily armed, 2 assault rifles and a handgun as well. But sad to say, what you're experiencing in that lovely community down there is now becoming a part of the norm in this country. So far this year, there have been 128 mass shootings, defined as 4 more people shot and or killed in a single setting, not including the shooter. This time last year, there were 112.
Pierre, from your perspective, will there be federal response? Will ATF, will FBI from D.C. come here, or only if they're asked to come here?
Well, we've been told they were en route. The FBI will assist. They will typically help with the ballistics in terms of the crime scene management if the local police need that kind of help. ATF will likely be involved in tracing the weapons involved in here. Again, it really does become a team effort when you have something like this, because everyone wants to know the universe of information so that both the local officials and the federal officials can have it, because they tend now, with so many of these incidents, they try to study them to see if there can be lessons learned.
Pierre, have you ever heard of a school shooter that matched this profile in any way?
We were looking at some numbers, and in some of these incidents, women are involved in about 3% of the cases. So 97% involve males. So this is highly unusual. And also, again, the weaponry involved is unusual as well, in terms of the female shooters we've seen in the past didn't have this level of firepower. So again, I think one of the key things here will be, what is the connection to that school and or church? It seems to sit up on a hill from the video I've been able to see. It's a place that you had to want to go to. It's not, it doesn't look to be a place that you would just stumble upon.
Pierre, from your experience covering these kind of events, there typically is a connection. It would appear there probably will be here. We don't know it yet, but this is a small private school in a secluded neighborhood. It's not just a random elementary school that you see on a major thoroughfare. You have to know, as you said, where this is located and how to get to it.
Absolutely. We see in so many of these cases, the shooters have some kind of connection, either through something they've read, personal experience. We don't know that to be the case here. It's still a very fluid situation. They've not officially named this woman, but I can assure you, every law enforcement effort that can be put in place to detail this woman's life, both in the past and recently, is underway, because, again, they have to make sure that this is isolated and confined only to her.
If, but for some reason, and again, we don't know, if it's just a random target, would that be very surprising?
It would be, in the sense that, the body of information, the Secret Service, FBI, and a number of these federal agencies have studied mass shooters. And not always the case, but typically there is some kind of connection, something that drew this person to this location to do a shooting. We just don't know enough information yet to know, but I can tell you that will be a heavy, heavy focus.
ABC's Pierre Thomas, really appreciate your insight into this, and thank you for your time, sir.
My pleasure. And again, so sorry for the loss in your community.
Thank you.